and welcome to the podcast. I am Melissa Matheson, and I don't know about you, but I am loving January 2020 so far. We've been having a whole lot of fun here on the podcast this month, talking with some of my single friends about how they are navigating life, college, businesses, family, relationships, and fulfilling purpose at the same time. It might sound like an odd thing to some people to do a series about celebrating singles, but I really like the idea of coming together as young or older, single or married people, and understand how together, as a community of people, we can grow in our purpose. I also wanted to take an opportunity to talk about singleness and dating in a fun and healthy way with people that honestly have a desire to one day be married, but who also realize that marriage is not the fulfillment of their life purpose. Rather, it is a beautiful and sometimes messy experience that grows and matures us to be able to step into the fullness of all that God has created us to be. Well, even though we are celebrating singles, we've got two guests today. I'm having coffee with best friends Jenn and Emily, talking about their individual lives, as well as how they are doing life and friendship together in a healthy way during their season of singleness. Have they ever liked the same guy at the same time? Let's find out. Grab your coffee and join us at the table. We're talking about unexpected friendships, music, and color. Today on What's Next, God? Okay, so we're drinking our coffee, and we are big coffee drinkers. Emily, how do you normally drink your coffee?
Well, I usually just do creamer. I don't like sugar too much. If I do sugar, it's sugar in the raw. And it's just like a tiny bit with a little bit of half and half.
Oh.
Or I've tried black coffee, but it honestly makes me feel like very the Grinch. I like just kind of like, I eat onions, like just gross onions. Like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I'm a dirty person. So I like creamer.
Can I tell your secret?
Yes, you can tell my secret.
Emily never finishes a cup of coffee.
I don't know what it is.
And when we would live together, we would always share a French press. And, I'd save her half of it and she'd pour it in her cup. And I'd know.
It's so sad.
Later on, I'd see it like just halfway gone.
But on a good day, I finish them. Sometimes I finish 2.
Why don't you finish? Like, you don't like the bottom half of the cup? Or
no, it's not that I don't like it. I just...
forget?
Yeah, I just forget or I just forsake it. I'm not sure.
Oh, bless your heart.
Only God knows.
So every time she's drinking coffee, I always check up on her and I'm like,
why don't you just pour
it?
a half cup?
I do.
She still won't finish it.
I think it's like the principle of it, I just won't do it.
Because some people won't drink the last sip because
there's grinds sometimes or...
Yep, it's a little bit stronger or bitter.
Yeah.
So they don't drink the last sip. But you just forget.
I just forget.
Will you go get a second cup of coffee and start fresh instead of going back to what you had?
What's really sad, what probably makes people sigh, is I'll have that little bit that I usually forsake and I'll be like, I want another one. And I go and I pour it and I literally don't drink a single bit of it.
Oh.
I don't know. No. God's working on me.
But you love coffee.
But I love coffee. Oh. But with tea, I always finish tea.
Yes. Hot tea?
Hot tea, yes. With a little bit of sugar. Sugar in the raw, of course.
Sugar in the raw, of
and
course.
Then some milk. Like just a little bit of milk. I like lemony teas.
Okay.
Yeah. I always finish those.
That one from Trader Joe's.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best tea.
The turmeric.
Get you saved, baptized, everything.
Maya Cole is on a hot tea journey. Ooh. When I took them to New York, we went to a tea store and we got all the tea teaching. They showed us the whole thing and what to do and how to do it. And we bought our tea and then her best friend gave her tea for Christmas.
That's sweet.
It was 40 different teas.
Wow.
And she can...
That's a
find
good
one
friend.
she loves. It was a good friend and it was a good gift and it was perfect. So, and she's only 15 and she's drinking all the tea. So hot.
I'm a little jealous.
Okay. Yeah, to me, because you have to, I feel like tea drinkers are a little more sophisticated sometimes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sophisticated. I'm very Cajun, so.
You know what? So it just dawned on me. You and my daughter are a whole lot alike.
I would agree with
Similar personality. What do you think, Jen?
I would totally agree.
I see it. Maya Cole could be Emily when she was 15.
Especially with the napping, too.
Oh, my gosh.
describing
Yes.
the characters, how they can step in and out of character and stuff really well.
For sure.
You know, Maya does that whole Miranda thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
She
so
does it so
funny.
well.
So funny. One of the best ones, honestly. I've seen people like try to be Miranda Sings. Maya Cole got it for him.
But she was 13 when she did that, too.
know.
She was little. It was
perfect.
But it was that was just her thing growing up. So
love
I
it.
can look at you
Aw.
at 25 and go, in 10 years, this could be Maya Cole.
Aw.
'Cause
Oh
you're
my
so
gosh.
similar.
That's amazing.
Sitting here
That's really
drinking out
cool.
of Fox mugs. Doing podcasts.
Yeah. Oh
love
my
it.
gosh.
Jen, tell me about your coffee.
Well,
What's your journey?
I would say, my journey, I was one of those kids that was drinking coffee way too young, probably because on the weekends or when we'd visit family, we'd go to a Waffle House. And you know how terrible a
Yes.
Waffle House cup of coffee is.
So lots of cream, lots
as a
of
kid,
sugar.
I thought I was so grown and I thought it was so cool to be drinking coffee with the adults. So I would drink, coffee and my parents do drip coffee. And so whenever I was living with them for years, I would just drink drip coffee. I didn't know that there was better coffee out there, but I was, I could drink coffee from the gas station. I could drink any kind of low quality drip coffee because I just did not know.
You thought that was it.
Yeah, I did. And so to this day, I don't even consider myself a coffee snob because if I'm somewhere where there's bad quality coffee, I'm still going to drink it just because it's there.
Yeah, because that's what you
Yeah.
grew up
And
with.
it's like nostalgic, but I would say now, I definitely would every morning would make a French press or something. And like I said, I'm not a coffee snob. I don't really know that much about the different types of roasts and all
Yeah.
of the countries they come from and the beans. I don't really know that, but I find something I like and I drink it all the time. But I drink so much coffee every day that I try to ration it out a little bit or spread it out a little bit so I'm not crazy.
Right.
So
Right. Part of drinking coffee for me, which I think you girls can understand and probably have some stories about, is the ambiance, the culture of coffee shops. So you girls kind of road trip a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
see you are adventurers to the max.
Oh, yes.
And there are always coffee shops in your
Yes.
adventures. Tell me some of your favorite places, favorite coffee shops, and where are they?
Okay, my number one, hands down, favorite coffee shop experience is in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I knew you were going to say
It is.
Milk and honey? I love milk and honey.
It's so good. My favorite drink from there is the burnt sugar latte.
Me too. That's
just
my
so
favorite. I love that
Yeah,
one.
do you get it hot or iced?
I do mine hot.
I do mine hot too, but one time in the summer, or maybe a couple of times one summer, I tried it iced and it was kind of a game changer, but I'm more of a latte, a hot latte kind of person. So
Yes. Because to me, Chattanooga, the mountains, it just feels like I should be drinking a hot latte.
yeah.
So I will have to try it iced.
Yes.
What, do you have a favorite?
I should have a favorite. I just like every place.
Every place you go. Where are some of
Yeah.
the places?
But I will say this. I don't like milk and honey.
Really?
I don't.
I didn't know that.
It tastes dirty to me.
Stop it.
It's true.
Oh
my secret's out.
It's out. Oh, we won't be tagging milk and honey.
Yeah, don't tag it.
They're like, get this girl out of America.
Shameless plug until now.
That's okay because listen, you either love it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's like a Starbucks thing.
Yeah,
you either
true.
love it or you don't.
True.
I don't love Starbucks, but I do love their consistency.
Yes,
so I know that every
true.
time I go, I'm going to get the same thing that's always going to taste the same.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place, and I know it's going to be consistent.
Yes.
So it's like, but then there's some people who will never go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just don't have a ton of options around here.
Yes.
No, we don't.
So you have to make your own.
Now, I have to confess too, the burnt sugar latte is the only drink I've ever had at Milk and Honey. I had it the first time, and it's the only thing I've ever had there.
It's
just
just so
because I liked it and it's working for me.
If
Yeah.
you like it, keep
And I only go to Chattanooga, I don't know, twice a year. It's like it's not like I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of my favorites. What about near Hamilton, where we are? Where are coffee shops? Florence, Tupelo, Birmingham. Where are some of your favorites that you go there?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Birmingham, I love well, it was once Feast and Forest.
Oh, yeah. That's
And then
really
it
good.
became The Essential.
Oh, yeah.
And I love their lattes. And now they even have an extension, which is Bandit Baking Co. I guess maybe that's what it's called.
maybe.
Bandit. They have pastries and lattes. So it's the same lattes, but now with a whole shop that's pastries.
I went to Feast and Forest. We went for a Sunday brunch one time and had a latte and had their brunch, and it was
good.
amazing. It was really good. That was years ago, though.
And we're big brunch people.
Yes. Love a good brunch.
love a good brunch.
Oh, I love brunch.
Like, what kind of brunchy foods?
Okay, my number one favorite, I would say, is Eggs Benedict. Because I just love hollandaise sauce. I know it's really unhealthy, but it is. I could just eat gallons of it. And I learned how to make it because I have an immersion blender.
Oh my gosh.
But I've only made it like twice.
Yeah.
Hollandaise with the coffee.
And it's been really good.
Yes.
Really good.
Hollandaise with the spaghetti.
I love hollandaise on roasted potatoes.
Ooh, that
For
would be
real.
good.
With avocado.
That would be so good.
Okay, now my brunch favorite is avocado toast. Specifically at The Essential. Has a poached egg
Oh, yeah.
on top and sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Take me to
yummy.
church. It's so good.
It is really
Yum.
good.
And the toast is like sourdough.
It's really thick.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like not to where, okay, some people toast their bread and make it like a brick. So it's like, how am I going to eat this?
Yes.
But it's like crunchy on the outside, but still
See,
bread on the
that's
inside.
what you need. And I know they make it extra crunchy, especially when there's a poached egg, because they think the egg is going to
true.
help soften
Yes.
the toast. But I'm not a fan of the super crunchy toast either.
No.
So how did we get to be so, fancy about food?
I don't know.
I used to feed my kids cereal, and now we
Yeah.
do brunch. We're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, they grow up and they
Yes.
get big, and all of a sudden, we got to have brunch. So
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
I do love a good brunch. All right, tell people that are listening a little bit about you. Jen, you are a school teacher.
Yes.
Miss Z.
Miss Z.
I heard your kids call you Miss Z, and I was
It's so
like,
cute.
that's the best name ever.
I know.
We'll have to call you Miss E over there.
Yes. Well, and my students, Emily's helped me out a little bit with some things here and there before, so they've seen her. She's helped me in some videos that I made, and in the videos, I call her my assistant. And
Yeah.
they think, because assistant might kind of also sound like sister. So every time they've seen her, whether she's come to help out at a play or something, they're like, there's Ms. Z's sister.
I'm like, yep. Mhm.
Sister E.
Sister E. Sister E.
Oh, Miss Z and Sister E.
Oh my gosh.
That is funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you're a school teacher.
I'm a school teacher. I teach music. So it's general music, grades kindergarten through 4th grade.
Oh, my.
And I have about 600 or more students.
That's unbelievable.
I know all of their names.
Oh, my goodness.
And it is the funnest job I've ever had.
How long have you been teaching? Like, when did you finish school and all of that? When did that process start?
So I started teaching there in 2018.
Okay, so 2 years.
2 years, yeah. I'm in
Going
my
on
second year.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
so the process of actually starting to work there is kind of crazy because I actually have not finished my bachelor's.
Oh.
So I was in college for about 3 years before I came and did RSM, and I put college on pause. So I do have my associates in theology. And I'm well into my degree. I just haven't finished it.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school at University of North Georgia.
Okay.
And it's in my hometown,
Where are you from?
Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville, Georgia. Okay.
So
So are you taking classes to
I am
finish?
working towards taking classes.
In your spare time.
In my spare time. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go to finish the degree.
Okay.
I would totally do online and just maybe go back. I'm thinking in the summer or the fall.
Okay.
And just knock out the rest of it. It really wouldn't take that long. But the way that the program is at the school right now is it's like an additional program that we have. So it's okay that I don't have all of those credentials because I have tons of experience in that area.
Right.
So, but the way that I got the job is the most amazing to me because I wasn't even on the lookout for it. it just was one of those God things that just worked out to me. So I had been working at Elise Nicole's School of the Arts, downtown Hamilton, teaching music lessons. And at the time, that was... Well, at the time, I had heard that there were no music classes in the schools in Hamilton. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that just breaks my heart, and I wish there was something I could do. But because I hadn't finished my degree, and because I didn't think they would even have a program, I didn't think that that would ever be an option for me to work there.
Right.
So whenever the opportunity presented itself, it was such a God thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That is amazing. You weren't even looking for it.
I wasn't.
And here it is.
And here it is.
And you're loving
and
it.
I'm loving it. And
killing it.
You want to know what's really funny is all of my life people have told me I would be a very good teacher. And it's just something I kind of said, oh, I don't know about that. Like, I don't really want to work with kids, even though I'm really good with kids. And I always have been. So, but I was like, oh, I don't want to work with kids. And so once I got the job and experienced it, I just realized it's exactly what I am meant to do.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to, well, there's a ton of things that I'm passionate about. So that's the first problem, is that I have a lot of passions. And
not a problem, never, ever.
Yeah, never a problem. I just have a lot of things I'm passionate about. And so for me, one of my big desires is to be a songwriter and record music. Okay. So I do know that can still happen in the job that I have now.
Yes.
But, it's all about intentionality with time, schedule.
Yes.
Making the time to do it. So, but that's what I want to be. So as far as being a school teacher, it is kind of ironic because when I was in high school, I wanted to be a high school drama teacher. So
you would be so good at that.
I feel like maybe it could happen too sometime in the future one day.
Yeah. I think your little elementary school kids will grow up.
Yes.
And you'll have like this history with them. And then,
like
when they're in high
Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World, just like follows them.
So perfect. We need to start a TV show right now.
Like
Miss Z.
Miss Z is what it'll be called.
Yeah.
So, but I love it.
Your assistant needs to make a special
my assistant has to.
From time to time.
Yes, and it's just so fun. I think I'm so grateful because some people go to school forever to become music teachers, and then they experience it and they don't enjoy it, and they change professions. But I have had the wonderful privilege to get to try it out and realize that it's what I love, and now because of that I can go finish school.
Yeah.
So
tell us, Emily, a little bit about you.
About me.
Like, who are you and what have you been doing? You're Cajun. You're from Louisiana.
I'm a little Cajun. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I came to Hamilton in the fall of 2014.
Oh, wow.
So I've been here
over 5 years.
Over 5 years.
You've grown up here.
I have. Yeah, in my adulting years, I've grown up here.
Yes.
And I did the school. I did 2 years, and then I did an internship for Stephen Womack.
Yes.
And have stayed connected with that family for all of my time being here. I branched off. I was a nanny for some random man in Hamilton and his kids.
That didn't sound weird at all.
Yeah. Honestly, I know. I didn't want to be like, this is his name, this is his social security number, this is who he is. I know. That was so awkward.
Just some random man.
Some random man I saw in downtown. And he's like, hey, you want to watch my kids? I was like, sure, come on now. Oh my gosh.
Now you have 3 brothers?
Yes, I have 3 brothers.
Yeah, and just you, no sisters.
No sisters.
Just you.
Been roughing it out since 1994. Working my way
God
up.
gave you like a sister in Miss Z here.
Miss Z and Miss C, sisters for life.
Now, all right, so you guys are best friends in a lot of ways. You have roomed together, different seasons.
Yeah.
Where did this connection, because I want to talk a little bit about, is this something we could talk about publicly?
Funny. No,
this is really funny.
This is very funny.
Because here's what I love about you two. The way that you guys are just all in everything that you do. And you live your lives out loud. Like you are who you are, proud of who you've been created to be. You are, which that makes me think I want to talk about the other project you have on the side.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I would love that.
But I want to talk about your friendship first. So you guys have this incredible friendship that I feel like is so inspiring for young women your age. It's like you guys are, you cheer each other on. You're very uniquely different, which when y'all started like being friends, it was like, it felt a little odd couple-ish. I was like,
Yeah.
I really wouldn't have put those two together to be friends like you are.
For sure.
Yeah, we thought that too.
Did you think that too? So you guys have this unique dynamic that you are still uniquely who you are in this friendship, and which I think is you're not copycat. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like
I know.
sometimes you can get together and you start to mirror each other in close friendships, but you guys are uniquely who you are. Can I tell them your ages?
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of important too. Jen, you're 28 and you're 25.
Yes.
Just
I'm
turned
25.
25.
Just turned 25.
So similar age, but we're not talking about 21, 22-year-old girls, young ladies, but you are modeling, I think now, what they could be operating in. Because sometimes in that 20 to 22-year-old range, they're kind of still not sure who they are, and they get into these friend groups, and then they become somebody different and who they're not really. So I think you girls have done this very well. So I want to hear about how you met and some of your favorite things about your friendship.
Okay. Well, we both were in the same class at RSM, 2014.
Okay,
Graduated.
so RSM is the Ramp School of Ministry.
Yes.
It's a ministry school we have here in Hamilton, Alabama. You girls moved from Georgia and from Louisiana and came to our ministry school as students,
Yes.
and you met in that class.
We met, but
met.
we were not friends.
Okay. So I don't even think of you girls as being in the same class.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take it a step further. We didn't even like each other.
We did not like
as
each
a
other.
person.
Really?
100%.
Yes.
In
Never-
2014.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were strong feelings of
Yeah.
didn't
I
really
mean,
like each
It
other.
wasn't like we hated each other, like, oh, I hate that girl.
But we would have never seen each other being friends with each other.
Definitely not.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
we could
Why?
elaborate.
Well, okay.
Did you like the same guy or something?
No.
No. Definitely not.
So I thought, okay, when I came to RSM, I was super achiever, put together. I have my eyes on the prize, and that is graduating RSM to be a minister to the nations. And I just did not have time. I did not have time to be, hanging out with people that I didn't feel like were on that same track. And the friend group that Emily hung out with, I thought was more like,
yeah, friends, let's hang out. Let's do whatever.
which is kind of funny because now I'm so much more relaxed and I can have a good time. But at that point, just where my personality was, I was just not developed in some different ways.
Yeah.
I was super uptight. And
So you were like 23.
Yeah, I was
and
23.
Emily was 20.
Yeah, I was 19 turning 20 in November.
and
So
I was perfectionist. Like, I didn't want to be hanging out with people that weren't achievers like myself.
So is this a good time to talk about your Enneagram number really
Yes,
fast?
this was
bring it
perfect.
on.
All right, what are you, Jen?
Okay, I am a 2-wing 3.
Okay, 2 is the helper, the 3 is the achiever. That's
Yes.
where your achieving comes out.
Yes.
And I am a balanced 4.
You are
She is a 4 to the max.
I am a
unique
4.
individual.
Yes. Oh my gosh. What's really funny is I mistyped myself and I thought I was a 2. I took tests and I read
No.
stuff, thought I was a 2. And what's really funny, I was blow drying my hair this morning and I was thinking about this. I would walk in a room, find out people were 2s, and it would anger me. I'd be like, no, you're not a 2 like me. Absolutely not. And now knowing that I'm a 4, it makes complete sense.
Exactly.
That's why you thought that.
Yes.
And I will say this. I would get so mad at Emily because, and we also lived with Chelsea Dowda at the time that we were discovering our Enneagram types. And Chelsea is a 2.
Yes.
And I'm a 2ing 3. And Emily said she was a 2. And we'd always be like, oh yeah, 3 2s living in the same house. But as a 2, like one of our flaws is that we want to be praised and thanked for all of the good stuff that we do. And so as a roommate, I would always like be doing, cleaning stuff or whatever. And, in your mind, when it comes to those small roommate things, you think that you are, God's gift to this house.
Yeah.
So, or maybe I just do because I'm a 2. I would just think like, I am the best 2 that lives here. I don't think Emily's a 2. And
all comes back to me. She's not a 2.
I was like, I don't know. I know I'm a 2. I know Chelsea's probably a 2, but Emily, I'm just not too sure about. And I will take credit for knowing that you were a 4 before you did.
Okay, it's true. I think a lot of people knew. I think I was in denial because I didn't want to be a 4.
Really?
Yes, because everyone talks about 4s. They're so emotional. They're so emotionally driven. They can't commit to things. And I'm like, I literally listened to 4 podcasts, read stuff about them, and I never finished them because I'm like, that's not me. That will never be me. Absolutely not.
That's such a classic 4 thing to do.
Classic 4 thing to do. Like, you can't type me. Okay. Sure.
That actually sounds like a lot of numbers. There are people. Okay, but what do you love about your 4-ness now?
Well, I love, it has taken me a while, but I love that I have very, very deep emotions because I feel like not a lot of people can go there, and I'm willing to. I'm willing.
Good, bad, painful,
ugly,
any of it.
Suffering, I will be the one to experience it and fully feel it. Because I feel like if I'm not this is such a 4 thing to say. Oh my gosh. If I'm not fully feeling it, it's not authentic. It's not real. It's like ingenuine. So I want to, now sometimes it gets me in trouble because I'm like, pain, let's go for it. Let's do something dangerous.
And other people aren't ready for it.
No, and everyone's like, that's really dumb. And I'm like, you know what? You're not authentic.
But really, that's how you're wired, not how they're wired.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. So that explains a little bit about your meeting and how that happened. When did we decide, okay, we can be friends? Was there like a major shift or was it a slow grow?
Yeah. Actually... me and my friend Navy, both of our friends, Navy Williams, she was Navy Newcomb. We went to school with her, all of that at the ramp. And me and Navy lived together for a little bit, and we were needing a place to live because we're going to be interns for our 3rd year. And so she reached out to Jen. She had lived with her first year, Navy and Jen, in the brick house.
Okay.
Shout out to Brick House.
Oh, brick house. Those brick house days.
Brick House basement. You know who you are. Shout out.
Shout out. You know who's in the brick house basement now is Molly Kate Dollar.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Ironic.
And did you know we
funny.
stayed in the brick house after the storm?
Yes.
Oh my
I do
gosh,
remember
I did not
that.
know that.
Yep. So my family lived in the brick house when it was no longer a dorm, a girls' dorm. My family rented it for 5 months when we
Oh my gosh.
That brick house.
brick
house.
house.
The stories. The stories.
Yikes.
Okay, so Navy and Jen.
Yeah, we lived together.
They were really good friends, knew each other, that kind of thing. And I was kind of indifferent. I just needed a place to stay.
And my best friend and roommate, Michelle, then done, now Michelle McFarland.
Yes.
She was moving out to move back home to Texarkana. So I had an open room. And it was a big room. It was the master bedroom of the 2-bedroom apartment that we had lived in.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Navy. And then Navy said, would it be okay if Emily also came?
Yeah.
And I said, well, as long as I have my own room,
Yeah.
I could be fine with that.
So.
But did you like cringe a little because you remember?
No, like I didn't dislike Emily that much that I would like not want to
disgusting
live with her.
Okay, it was just an indifference. Like
Yes.
she's just somebody you knew.
Yes, and my roommate philosophy at that point, because I had just experienced the deep pain of your bestie moving away,
Yes.
was don't room with people that you want to be best friends with. Room with people that you like, that you're
okay.
acquainted with.
So you don't get your feelings hurt.
Exactly.
When they have to move.
But
Yeah.
that's just impossible for me. I can't live with someone and be in close proximity with somebody without becoming deeply involved in their life.
Not someone so authentic.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I'm just this
So irresistible as a four.
And I just have this desire to have her open up and share her life experiences so that I can help her.
Do you know what though? I think here's just me thinking
go for it.
as you're talking. I think, Jen, that is your two-ness.
Yes.
This helping.
Yes, for sure.
But I think there's also this thing of being authentic that's inside of Emily that you desire.
Yeah, for sure.
So sometimes when we are connected closely with people, it's not always that they mirror us. It's like we so value something that they carry that we want some of it for our own lives.
For sure. And I was going to say, when we were talking about the Enneagram initially, I feel like the way that it has caused me to grow, just us, who we are individually and within our types, is as a wing 3, I was very closed off, and I would never let anybody except for my closest friends know how silly, hilarious, and fun I really am, because I wanted to be seen as this serious, like, minister type person.
Interesting.
And so then when I began to live with Emily, it took us about a year to actually reach friendship, because we were just going through our own stuff individually during that season. But after about a year of living together, we started to hang out, and I would open up and be crazy. And this was about the time when like Snapchat was big, which I didn't do Snapchat, but Instagram stories came out. And there was something about like the way that Emily was so free to be herself that I was like, you know what? It's a shame that only my closest friends get to see how funny I am, which that sounds so, whatever. But
no, it's true though. It's a shame because you're amazing.
Thank you. So because of my friendship with Emily, it caused me to open up and like not be so rigid and really just be myself and everywhere that I went, not just when I was with my close friends.
That's amazing. How do you, because I remember when that shift, I watched that shift happen in you. And it was almost like you came alive.
Yeah.
It was almost like you had, I don't want to say living in black and white, but it's almost like I started to see color, which is so funny because you're such a color person.
Yeah. You know, what's really funny is I used to only wear black and gray and like denim. And then as I became friends with Emily, I don't even think I've ever thought about this until this moment. Now I only wear the most vibrant things.
Got like 7 colors on.
Yeah, I'm wearing a rainbow sweater right now.
Rainbow sweater.
Wow.
And it's like your life got color. You just stepped into
That's really
this
nice.
whole world of color, and it made you come alive in a way that was just beautiful. And,
I love that.
And who you are. It's really who you were on the inside. You just needed what was inside to kind of come out.
Yes.
And Emily, your friendship with Emily, I think unlocked some of that for you.
Wow.
To me, this is the power of community and connection. One of the reasons why I love getting to have these conversations, doing a podcast, is because I think people are amazing. I love that you two girls are completely different than I am. Like not only in age, but even our personalities and our style and everything we do is just so different. I can look at who you are and so appreciate your fourness. And I can look over here at Jen, full of color. Okay, we're sitting in my living room. There's no... My living room is gray, neutral. Yeah. I have like a green plant. I have green. We're sitting in green chairs. This is probably the most color right here in my whole house. Very gray, but yet I can celebrate your color. Like I can celebrate.
I love that.
The beauty and the vibrancy that you live and dress and all of that, and it doesn't offend me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me uncomfortable.
Wow.
It's like when you let people come into your life and you share life with them in that way, it really just changes so much about who you are.
So true.
I don't know. Maybe I need to hang out with Emily more. Maybe I need more color in
You'll
my
be
life.
wearing neon by the end of this.
Oh my! I'll have to go get me like her neon socks just for fun, so I can remember my time with Emily. So, Emily, tell me something about Jen that you wish the world knew, because she's learning to express herself. But what is something about Jenn that you... Okay, I'm not going to say, like, if you were going to do, like, a Christian Mingle profile.
Oh, Jesus, help us.
But if you were going if you were going to introduce her... Oh, okay, I know. You've got a cousin...
Okay.
And you want to set Jenn up with your cousin or something like that.
Okay. I'm actually thinking if I do have a cousin to set you up with.
I don't know. Hey,
maybe I just family.
spoke prophetically here. Yeah. So you're going to tell this person about Jenn. What are you going to tell them?
Honestly, the first thing that came to my head was color before we were even like talking about color. Is that you have she has a lot of different things about her that you could first look at her and think, oh, she's an awesome person. But if you really sit down with her, you realize, okay, she's really funny. But behind that funny, there's intent to get to know someone. Yes. There's intention. She's a very intentional person. How many times can I say intention?
Yes. Yes.
And she's very wise beyond her years, but she knows how to balance. I'm going to be wise in this moment, but I'm also going to have fun. Yeah. And I'm not going to restrict myself just because I am 28.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that would be perfect for someone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So you're welcome.
All right, your turn, Jenn. You're gonna try to set Emily up with your cousin. What are you telling him about Jenn? What are you telling him about Emily? About Sister E.
Sister E. She has to be with somebody who's willing to go to the depths emotionally, because she is like, I would say this. I can say anything, and I mean anything, to Emily, and it's not too scary for her. And so I would say that Emily is a person of depth, and she has a very good listening ear. Which is funny because usually I think of myself as the listening ear and in general. But with Emily, I know that she will be a good listener and she will be willing to take me or whoever through the depths of any kind of situation or thought.
Wow.
So we could talk for hours, and we do.
Yeah.
We can and we do talk for hours because we can take a topic and really explore the depths of what that is for someone. Mm-hmm. And so that's really set me free because, as somebody who lived so masked for so long, or as such a chameleon for so long, being able to truly talk about and go to the depths of how I felt about certain situations or things was super freeing.
Wow.
So I would say, like, of course, Emily is so fun and hilarious. And like, if I was trying to, set her up with a guy, I'd be like, she's cute, she's hilarious, you're going to have a great time.
That's right.
But it would also, like, you need to be ready to have your soul searched.
Just don't do it on the first date.
Yeah, definitely not.
No.
Over time.
Over
time.
Yeah. Do you realize that you do that, Emily?
No.
It's just
I really
how
don't.
you naturally are.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because sometimes I think when I'm done having a conversation with someone, I'm like, I could have gone deeper. Mm-hmm. I could have said more. I could have listened better. I think too, like, with being a 4, there's this thing in the back of my head that I have to understand. I have to understand myself, and I have to understand others. And it's very funny. It's very an unhealthy side. If I don't understand, I beat myself up. Like, I didn't go deeper. I didn't
ask enough questions.
I didn't ask the right questions. I didn't answer them correctly, all of that. And then, so it circles back around to that deep emotion of sorrow, and I fully feel it. And I will say this, being friends with Jenn has pulled me out of a pit that I've so easily dug myself in.
Okay.
So it's like, when I'm feeling that sorrow, like, I didn't go there with that person, I know I should have, she's there to say, you've given what you had to offer, and maybe they just didn't receive it well enough. Maybe you're feeling some of what they're feeling. So it's very interesting to have such a deep feeler. And Jenn's a 2, so she's still in that heart center of emotion. So she understands emotion. And so she's not going to be like write me off because I'm feeling a certain way. She's going to help me because
do you think you're feeling your own feels, or do you think you're feeling other people's as well?
I feel everything. I walk in a room, I can be like, you're sad, you're happy, someone just died. Like, I just know.
Oh, interesting.
I know things.
And so whenever we start hanging out, she's coming to me from wherever she's been, and I can just see the day that she's had just because of the way that she's feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for me, I'm like, what's going on? Tell me everything. But I just think it's just great because I'm kind of a sunshine and rainbows person. And when sad stuff happens to me, I will feel it for about 15 minutes, give myself a good cry. And then I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? What can I do next? What's the next project? What's the next thing? What's the next whatever? Mm-hmm. And so with Emily, it's really taught me to just be patient, like with her and with anybody, honestly, and let people feel the sadder side of things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because usually, like, if Emily's unhappy, I want to try to just fix it. Like, and I'm not just trying to use, like, stereotypical Enneagram words for helpers, but when she is sad, I'm thinking, okay, what can we do to be having a dance party in 10 minutes? And usually I have to sit there and, like, talk it out with her for a long time until she gets some place of resolve. Yeah. And then we'll move on from that sad place.
Yeah. I don't know if it's an Emily thing or a 4 thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with that, it's like it takes me a while to talk about those things because I feel like I don't have the right to let people know that I actually have feelings.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I'm like, everyone else can feel, I can feel your emotion. Mm-hmm. I can feel my own, but I'm not going to say that I'm actually human. Yeah.
Wow.
That's really scary.
That is. But you are.
Mm-hmm. I'm human.
Yeah.
There, I said
it. Do you love being human?
Yes, I do.
It scares you a little bit.
It frightens me, but hey.
Hey, tell me what you're doing online on Instagram right now, because to me, this is part of when you're talking about her being a listener and how she feels all the feels. It made me think of what you're doing. So tell me about this project that you've been doing probably over a year. How long have you been doing this?
Close to a year.
I started in the spring of 2019.
Yes, I did. I started a Instagram page called Even Here. Mm-hmm. It's at Even Here _.
Okay.
We'll
Even tag it in the show notes.
Plane was, taken by someone that I don't know. But anyways, enough about that. So I have been on this journey my whole entire life of learning how to be comfortable in my own skin and loving my body for the way it is right now, not in 10 years, not whenever I was in high school. So I felt specifically from the Lord that a way of healing for myself is to make a platform for others. To be like, hey, everyone's thinking it about themselves, but we don't have to stay here. Like, there are good things. Like, so many body confidence pages are about what's wrong with me, what can I fix, instead of celebrating where you're at right now. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that is my thing. Like, I love celebrating people. I love celebrating my body. I want other people to feel like their body is celebrated right here, right now, whether you're postpartum, whether you're a little chubby, whether you think you're too skinny, whether you have bulimia, dysmorphia, whatever, you are loved and you're celebrated. So I've just been drawn to certain people, and I take pictures of them, them representing what they love about their body. So yeah, knowing, because like, okay, I think about this. If someone were to ask me, what's your favorite thing about yourself? I'm going to say something about my face because it's comfortable. I love my eyes. I love my smile, that kind of thing. And it kind of like eliminates that and saying, you're more than just a pretty face. You're more than beautiful eyes. You're more than a great personality. You have a body that the Lord specifically put your spirit in, and it deserves to be celebrated, and it deserves to be noticed by people. So Even Here is a page that presents that to people, that says, hey, you've got a rockin' body and you don't need to hide it in a modest way.
And this is in a modest way. Yes. Let me clarify that. You have done this very well. And it's not just, we're not just talking about women. We're talking about, this is men, women, young, old. I mean, it's all people, all ages, because I think that is something everyone struggles with in some way or another, having thoughts about them. There's that voice in their head that's telling them one thing, and trying to deceive them. And you are trying to bring truth to this is who God has created you to be in your wholeness, in your fullness, and not trying to wish away parts of who you are.
Yeah.
For sure. And celebrate that in a way. And you're doing that well.
Thank
you.
And
I do see that has been healing for you.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I forgot the biggest part. So it's a 4th thing. I don't want to do anything that's inauthentic. And when it comes to like projects and different things, I want to make sure I have the backing of the Lord. I don't want to do anything that God hasn't told me to do.
Okay.
And so with this idea, I presented it to the Lord, and I'm like, what is your purpose in this? I know it's for people, but like, give me plainly what it is. And I was just sitting down, journaling some stuff, and I felt from the Lord. He was like, Emily, if you're the only one that gets healed in this, it's worth it. He's like, this is for you. And from that place, talking about giving color to people's life, I couldn't have done that without this transformation. And I think in the past year, I really have learned to legit love myself and not just say, self-love, woo, all that just because that's what's trending now.
Yeah.
Like, I literally mean it.
Yeah.
I really do love myself. So
how is your life different now? What are some of the changes in you? You feel freer. You look freer.
Yeah.
How would I know that you're different?
I'm sitting here doing this podcast.
Okay. Wow. This is a big thing.
I would never do this kind of stuff.
Because I want people to not see you. I wanted them to know they don't know who you were a year ago or 2 years ago. Yeah. So the changes you would not be sitting here doing this.
No, I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have been able to bring color to Jenn's life.
No, definitely not. I don't know.
Who was Emily 2 years ago?
Honestly, it's weird talking about who Emily was because it feels like it wasn't me. Okay. It feels like it's like a different person.
Could I interject?
Yeah, you can interject. Go for it.
Okay, in social situations where it wasn't just the 3 or 4 of our friend group hanging out, Emily was more reserved in a group of people and super quiet. And I would just always kind of be frustrated and think, why is Emily being so quiet right now with this group of people? Like, she's the funnest person I know, but then when we get in this group, she is just like quietly observing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I think I've seen you like share who you really are with everybody.
Yeah.
In a way, it brought you confidence that you didn't have, that you had something to offer. You were just saying, like, you didn't feel like you were good enough for people to know you had feelings.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Very sad.
But it gave you a confidence.
Yeah.
And I feel like it gave you a purpose. Like, it gave you something that you are passionate about, building a platform for other people. Yeah. And I think that's some of Jenn's too-ness that's rubbed off on you.
I think
this
so, too.
helping people kind of thing. That's so great.
Wink, wink.
Who's your community? So, a lot of single people, married people. Who are we hanging out with?
With everybody.
Yeah, we hang out with a lot of people.
Pretty diverse.
Honestly, anybody that is living in this community, I feel like I've been friends with, which is another thing that Emily has helped me with. Because before, I only wanted to hang out with people that were similar to me and people that I thought looked like they had it all together. I'll just be honest to say that. Like, people that were similar, people that were older. I never hung out with anyone younger at all, period. No.
Okay.
And now, like, I will hang out with anyone.
Yeah. It's Bob Goff, everybody always.
Yes.
It's just everyone's invited.
Everyone's invited. Everyone has a seat at the table.
Yeah.
So we hang out with everybody.
Yeah. We've recently adopted 2 boys as friends, young boys, named Scott and Cameron.
Shout out to Scott and Cameron.
But I think because, and me and Jenn have talked about this before, and she says if it wasn't for me, she would have never talked to these people.
Yeah.
And I would say I would have never done this if I didn't have a mom who knew how to be friends to everyone.
Yeah.
Your actual
Happy birthday, mom.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Yes. So my mom literally hangs out with so many people. Like, so many people, wide variety of ages. And she is a friend to everyone.
That's amazing.
And so I think that's something that I've taken on. Like, that is one thing I want to pass on from generation to generation.
Yes.
That everyone is a friend.
Yes.
No one is turned down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's, why not be, like, friends with everybody? Like, I'm going to get to heaven, and Jesus is not going to look at me and say, you shouldn't have been friends with them. That was a bad choice for you. Like,
So
Exactly.
True.
so why not?
True. Well, we are in the month of January. So we are talking to a lot of really great people in January, but we're talking specifically to single people. So we're celebrating singles. And I handpicked, God actually handpicked you two to be.
Thank you, God.
Jen's mouthing, thank you, God. To be a part of this conversation in January, because when you're talking about celebrating sometimes those things you don't like about yourselves with your, even here,
Yeah.
this platform you're using, I think of that when you were talking, I was thinking of singleness.
Hey.
I was thinking of people that don't fully understand the season of life that they're in when they're single, and they can't fully celebrate it in that way. But that's another thing that you two do really well. So you do it so well. Let's talk about what you probably don't want to live in singleness the rest of your
absolutely
life. So you have dreams of getting married. And
Yeah.
has there ever been any dating things? And okay, let me step in and say right here real fast. We live in a very small town.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of, I don't know. It's just a smaller town. There's not as many opportunities and things like that to maybe date like some people would in larger churches or larger
for
cities.
sure.
So we don't have quite the opportunity here. But has there been anything, anyone, any interest, any kind of dating thing since you two have been friends with other people?
I would say there's definitely been like moments of like
Emily just sighed
Lord. I won't say too much, but I would say
We
there's
don't have to say
definitely
names.
been moments of like talking to guys,
Okay.
like talking,
Like
and,
you're interested in talking.
and there's
Okay.
definitely been some crushes, tons
Okay.
of crushes here and there, and then like 2 weeks later you're thinking, what was I thinking? Why was I having a crush on that guy? Like what? So
Lord.
that's one of the funniest parts of our friendships is just the many many guy experiences that we've had. It's just been just funny, but I don't think either of us have been in a serious relationship since we've known each other. And I will do a disclaimer. I am 28 years old and I've never been in a serious committed relationship
Okay.
at all.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I also felt like me and Emily had been talking about it before, the singleness thing. And I was like, I hope that this can help somebody who's listening
Yeah.
to know.
So what would you say to him?
I would say your time is coming.
Yes.
And it's okay. Like my single years have been so fun.
yes.
So fun that like, yes, I'm interested in dating, but I'm also holding on to my single years because it's been incredible.
Yeah, you've lived some very full years.
Yes.
The last few years as a single person. So how do you think that's going to change for you when you get married?
I hope that I end up with somebody who's as adaptable, easygoing, and fun as me. So I can kind of stay in this same vein of, traveling and experiencing fun stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm also an elementary school teacher and, I'm okay with living kind of a small town life.
Yeah.
So I would just like to see in my dating life and then one day in my married life, just a balance, of fun in the everyday stuff and with a little bit of adventure mixed in.
Emily, tell me about Jenn. What kind of person is it going to be for her? Who's going to be the man? Not a real person. Just describe him. Don't call out names.
Well, I don't have a type.
Yeah. Okay, this is what we were talking about this. I don't feel like types are a thing.
Okay.
Because I think about like the people that Jenna's like, the people I like, and like other friends. There is like there's no physical similarity. There may be a little bit.
Okay.
But I feel like it's not a type, but it's like a familiar thing. Like with Jenn, it's someone who has a good heart.
Yeah.
That also knows how to treat people.
Yes.
Like someone who has a good heart, knows how to treat people, and has a beard.
Yes.
So I think, I don't know, I see her with some burly man who loves God, loves music.
Super funny.
This is my turn, Jen.
Okay, sorry. Make sure if you're creating this ideal person, they're also funny.
Super funny, knows how to make her laugh, but also knows how to make her feel like she is like the most special person in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Because let me just tell you something. She is words of affirmation
Oh,
to
yeah.
the T.
Yeah.
So even if she has to ask for them, she's getting affirmed. It's happening.
That's so great.
So, just an example of that, I have done this for my whole life, and I just now realized it maybe like a year or so ago. I unintentionally ask for words of affirmation by putting people in a situation where they can't say no. I'll make cookies and I'll say, "Aren't these the most incredible cookies you've ever tasted?"
Look at my headband.
Yeah.
Isn't it so cute?
Yeah, or when I'm getting ready for something we're doing, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I look so great. Don't I look fabulous?"
Like, yeah, Jen.
Like, you can't say no to that.
You can't say no.
I just need more words. More words,
That's
please.
amazing. Well, that's so great that you've learned how to affirm yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not dependent on other people affirming you.
For
You're
sure.
just sort of helping them. Your tuneness is helping them
Oh my
affirm
gosh.
you.
Yes.
All right. So if this description fits anybody listening or anybody's son or grandson,
Oh, wow.
you can
Cousin.
submit applications to me.
Yes.
Me and Emily will go through them
Yes.
and see if you are worthy
Yes.
of our Miss Z.
Miss Z.
So interesting. Is he going to be older?
I used to say I would like somebody that's older, but I'm
Now that you're 28.
now that I'm 28. Like most of the older guys probably aren't going to be as fun, but hey, you never know.
You never
God
know.
makes all types.
Yes, he does.
He makes all types.
Is he going to be into music?
I think when I was younger, that was like on, every youth group girl has like a list of like traits. I think musician used to be like one of the top 5 things I really wanted. But at this point, honestly, it's okay if they're not a musician as long as they're supportive of my musicianship.
You know what? Some of the things were on my list
Yeah.
because I didn't believe in lists either.
Okay.
Like, because I felt like that was like boxing it in. Like, yeah, I'm not going to like put it on a box. But I remember I was sitting somewhere and in a conference and the speaker said, if you're just needing something, you're just going to have to write down, you got to be specific. I was like, oh, this is so dumb. So, but I made the list anyhow, put it in my phone. And years later, after I was married to Dave for a couple of months, it popped up in my iCloud, that note I had put in my phone. And I started going through it and y'all, Dave is every single one.
That's
and
amazing.
Dave is not one I would have picked. Like when we went on our first date, I've told this story, so I can say it. And I've shared it publicly, but I almost, he's sitting over in the corner waving. I almost missed it because he is not what I thought. But now looking back, he was everything on that list. So some of the things on my list were he would open doors.
Yes. Sweet.
That was just kind of just this old-fashioned, old-school gentleman care for you kind of thing that I was just kind of, I thought would be special because, it's just kind of a small thing. But things like that, like opening the car doors, carrying bags for me, just little things like that. So they weren't necessarily physical traits, but they were just things about their core value. There were some things in there, obviously, about the Lord and traveling, which he does internationally, doing video work. It's just those things that were kind of felt general, but they were very specific to who
Yeah.
he is that I didn't realize.
Wow.
So even though I was against the list kind of worked for me.
Wow.
So
Hey.
I wrote the vision and made it plain
There
and
we
didn't
go.
realize it. And here he is.
There we go.
We've been married 5 years. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Sister E over here.
Sister E. Well,
What kind of person is it going to be for Sister E?
I really don't mean this to sound creepy, and I've said it.
Whoa.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
Okay.
I think she's going to end up with somebody like her brothers because she loves her brothers
dun.
so much. You love them
do.
so much, and her brothers are so funny. And
They
they're-
are funny.
They're very different. All three of them are super different. So just to just generically say anybody like her brothers is kind of vague. But somebody that is really fully alive.
Yeah.
Because all of your brothers, I would say, are
And
fully
you're super
alive.
comfortable with your brothers. You guys have a lot of fun. It just seems like there's no boundaries with
Yeah.
them. You can talk about anything, go anywhere, do anything. That type of where you
Yeah.
have freedom to just
Yeah.
because it's like you share the same blood.
Yeah.
You know? You have the same DNA inside of you. So that's good. Is he going to be older? Younger?
I think it could be.
Is he a YouTube sensation?
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh. No, those guys are too arrogant. Can't do that.
She needs somebody down to earth. I don't know. Maybe like an Enneagram 9 or something. Somebody
Oh, I could see that.
super chill. But like somebody who could also break dance at a wedding. Because
Yeah.
me and her brothers break danced at a wedding. And
That's more of a 7 thing. I don't know.
yes, somewhere in between there. Not an 8 though.
Okay.
I don't think she'll do well with an 8. But hey, who am I to say?
Because God will
don't
do
know.
that. He'll
Yeah.
put you with somebody you would not think, but what it does is it strengthens and grows you
Yeah.
in areas that you need.
For sure.
So,
It's true.
well, whoever he is, he's going to be amazing.
he is.
Yeah. I believe
When
that.
5 years ago, did you have like this dream of what dating and marriage was going to look like? Did you have like an age in mind? Like when I am this age?
Actually, I did. And it was 25. Now I'm 25. Now the pressure is on. I'm just kidding. But even here, like where I'm at, if it weren't to happen in the next year, I would be totally fine.
Yes.
And I don't think I've been to this place before. Like being okay with, you know what? It's okay if it's not now. There's someone out there. And it's not like I'm not playing like Candyland. Like I'm not trying to like, all right, I got to get to this place and this place to get here on this time. Like it's a journey.
Yep.
And journeys don't have time limits.
They don't. And we've talked before with my friend Laura, our friend Laura, that we know everybody's story is different.
Yes.
And we get stuck sometimes in comparing our story or our situation with someone else's. And we think that if our story doesn't look like theirs, then there's something wrong with ours
Yeah.
or with us. And when you realize that you are uniquely you, there is nobody like you and there is nobody with your story or your timeline, it's almost like you can kind of rest in that and enjoy and celebrate where you are because
Yeah.
your story is
Yes.
still happening. It's still going on. You're still in this journey and you can be okay with that. Tell me something that you learned, and you were talking about some of these crushes and kind of these talkings and things. What did you learn from any of that?
Wow.
Any lessons learned?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, tons of
many.
lessons. I would say the biggest lesson I've learned is it's okay to take risks and it's okay to take chances even if it does not work out. There have been
Example.
there's been some moments where I've put myself out there and it didn't work out. And it was literally one of those things that what I was like bummed about, but my life goes on, you know? And I'm glad that I took risks to communicate how I was feeling in certain moments because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't overcome fear and take a risk to share how I felt.
Yeah.
That's one of those kind of putting on mask things of like, I don't want anyone to know how I'm feeling. But if you don't communicate how you're feeling, how can you ever eventually fall in love with someone? You know, you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah, because
So-
we want to say, I'm afraid to put myself out there because I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, that does not end when you get married.
Wow.
You will every day for the rest of your life have to deal with that in some form or another. So you may as well learn how to navigate it, which is what you're doing. You're taking the risk, because to love at all is to risk.
Yes.
You can get married or be in a relationship with somebody and anything can happen.
It's true.
You know why? Because we're humans. We're people, and life is change. And of course, in marriage, you have covenant. So it is for better, for worse, and you don't know which. But you're choosing that person every day, no matter who they are or what the situation looks like.
Yeah.
That's what covenant is. And you don't have that when you're dating or getting to know people. So you are, to love it all is to risk. So whether you're dating or you're married. But taking the risk, what did that do for you? So you felt the rejection for a few minutes?
Yeah, literally.
Did you feel it as rejection, or was it just, that just wasn't it?
Oh, it was totally, I felt
You
it
felt
as
rejection?
rejection.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just, gave myself a pep talk and just moved on. Actually, after that season, I felt like the Lord told me to take 6 months of intentionally no dating. And the only ever time I did that was when I was in RSM.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, Lord, I think at the time I was 27. I'm thinking, I'm 27 years old. I don't have much time. Like, don't make me sit out for 6 months. But those 6 months were so key in shaping, my growth over the past year. And then the 6 months ended, and no, I didn't start dating anybody, but I think that there were some seeds planted that are going to grow into something beautiful at some point.
I agree. I wonder if we could redefine rejection.
Yeah.
I think that instead of, because as soon as I asked you that, I felt like this check from the Lord. Like, when I asked you how you felt about the rejection, I was like, wait a minute, what if that's not rejection?
Yeah.
Like, what if we just, that's the perversion of it? What if it's just, a closed door? It's not, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Because rejection is going, I am intentionally going to refuse who you are and what you're offering. And what if that's not it? What if it's just that wasn't the fit? That wasn't what you were looking for, and so it's not really rejection. So I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I take that back.
Thank you.
Because that is not rejection.
Yes.
That was just another going, that's not it.
Yeah.
So
which I
on to the
totally,
next thing.
I had interpreted it as rejection.
I think we all do.
I think this conversation even helps to bring light to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we have to see it as a new opportunity for a new direction, almost in a way. Go ahead and feel the feels. And I love that you feel things briefly and you process it, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
It's a gift. It's a gift I
very
wish I
good.
had in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
What have you been learning in dating? Wisdom you want to share?
Well, in dating, and oh Lord, I have liked a lot of people, and I have given chances to a lot of people, and I think being friends with Jen has helped me with that, because when she is intentional with people, she gives them a full chance. And so I think I've given people that normally I would not give chances. I've given them chances and learned that, hey, that's not it. It's okay. And learning that a closed door does not mean that I am not enough.
Exactly.
That I'm still enough. I'm enough for someone.
Yes.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I am someone's cup of tea.
Yes.
And
With a little
that's
sugar
okay.
in the raw.
Yeah, a little sugar in the raw. Come on now. Yeah. Knowing that closed doors and a no does not mean I'm not worthy of love.
Yes.
That I'm worthy of love.
Yes.
And it's just going to take some time for me. So
Don't take too long, though,
I'm
in your
not.
forness. Just feel the feels.
I know. I'm like, nah. And then I look back. A classic story. Okay, I will say this one story.
Okay.
So
love stories.
my senior year of high school, I graduated. I was really good friends with this group of guys, and then one of them actually liked me. And me being young, I was like, we're just friends. I could see myself liking him someday. Like, no big deal. I knew he liked me. And it was during the summer before I went to college, and he was like, hey, let's do something. Let's go hang out. So I went and hung out with him. And he confessed his love for me
Oh.
and said, Emily, I could see myself marrying you one day.
Oh.
Wow.
And I was like, nah, I'm good. And so fast forward to 2 years later, or a couple years, when was it? It was like a year or so ago during the summer. I reach out to him and I just have this moment where I'm like, man, I see where he's at now and I'm like, I missed out. That was my fault. And
interesting.
I reach out to him. I'm like, hey, do you want to get lunch? He's like, yeah, I'll be in town. Like, I'm going to Louisiana for some part of the summer. I think I was going to a wedding or something. And I was like, hey, do you want to get lunch? He's like, yeah, sure. It was so sweet. Opened the door for me, bought my dinner, everything. And in that moment, I was going to tell him that I was sorry and that I was young and I was stupid and I didn't know what I was saying no to. And before I could even try, he shut it down. Like, completely shut it down. I would even, like, he would be like, hi, yeah, and be like, serious face, like, go back. And I could tell that wall was up. And in that moment, I could have interpreted it as rejection. And like, oh my gosh, it's because I'm heavier now. That's why he doesn't want to hear what I have to say. But no, it was a learning experience for me. Yeah. I went back to something I knew I messed up. And just because I couldn't say sorry to him does not mean I don't get a resolve. So in that moment, I got in my car and I was like, this is horrible. I feel horrible. Like, I want to tell him I'm sorry. And I want to let him know that, like, if it were to happen someday, I would want to give him a chance. But I didn't have that option because he didn't want to hear what I had to say. Yeah. And I can't force what I have to say on someone. Yeah. So in that moment, I sat in my car and I cried. And I was like, this sucks. I hate this feeling. I feel so stupid, so rejected. I put on makeup for this. I wore a dress. I looked cute. And he wouldn't even hear me out. And that is okay. And I released myself from that obligation of he has to hear me for me to get resolve. This is my resolve.
Wow. Yes. And I don't think you missed it. I'm going to sit here and say, I don't think you missed it.
Yeah.
I don't think you missed it at all. I think the greatest opportunity is still ahead of you. I don't think you missed it. It's like, that was not plan A. Like you still, your plan A is still, you're still in plan A.
Wow.
Sweet.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so when you feel like you missed it, you didn't. I think God in his goodness comes in and intervenes. I think of my own life. Oh my goodness, how thankful I am for those things that I considered I made a mistake and I missed it kind of thing. Those types of moments when really I can go, oh God, you were so good. Because there are things that have yet to be seen that God can see even further down that. So I just release you. You've already released yourself.
Release me again. Why don't you?
But you did not miss it.
Yeah.
And two, I think I love your boldness and I love your courage and your confidence, both of you, in how you are just unafraid to be who you are and who God has created you to be. And somebody is going to so value that in you, but give them a chase.
Okay.
I think that you guys are worth the pursuit.
Wow. Come on now.
Yeah. You are so worth the pursuit. So, and here's how I can say that. Because Dave scared the heebie-jeebies out of me pursuing me. I was so not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Because it was a control thing for me. I realized I had some insecurity in me about controlling my environment and my peace and my happiness and everything like this. And when somebody put on a full-on pursuit, it scared me. And I was like, oh, and that made me think, I don't know if this is what I want, because it was so scary. But it's really how God fiercely pursues us and how he desires us so strongly. Now, I think you can have fun with it. Like, I would be like, oh, no. But I was like, really? Like, yes.
Please. Yeah.
And in fact, I asked Dave out on the first date. He doesn't like me to tell people that.
So the truth comes out.
So he had been like full on pursuit, right? And our friend Blake that introduced us said, hey, this guy like really, really, really likes you. And I was like, well, I guess we just need to go out on a date so he can just get over it and we can all move on. And we were texting in a conversation, Dave and I said, hey, have you ever thought about asking me out on a date?
there it is.
And he calls me and he's like, yeah, I've been wanting to, but I didn't think you were ready. And you kind of, because I really wasn't giving him any interest really at all.
You got to help him out.
And so I did, I did throw that out there. And he, being the gentleman he was, he goes, I had to call you and talk to you about this because I'm not just going to text you. And here he comes again, just being gracious. And we had this conversation and he officially invited me out on our first date. Wow. But I did throw that out there like, hey, have you ever thought about it? But sometimes the pursuit can be a little scary.
For sure.
But you are worth being pursued. So I think you could throw a net out, like that.
Yeah.
And if there's not a bite and there's not a pursuit, be okay with just letting it go.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So what's next? What do we got going on? Ms. Z, you start school with your 600 little students.
Yes.
Again.
Starting that probably the day that this podcast goes up. So what's next right now is finishing this semester. We're going to put on a play in the spring. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we always put on a musical at Christmas time and then in the spring. So I'll be teaching and we'll be rehearsing for a musical. And then what's next is probably college, finishing my degree.
Finishing up your degree.
So, but you never know.
Never know.
But that's what I think. It'll probably be finishing my degree.
Sister E, what you got going on?
That's me.
That's you? You got some news?
I got some news.
Oh, my.
I am moving.
Oh,
yikes.
So sad.
I know. It's kind of a bittersweet thing. And it's something that I've been delaying because this season of my life in Hamilton has been so sweet.
Yeah.
And so personal. But there are clear skies up ahead. Wow. And I'm smooth sailing and I'm going to go there. So I'm moving back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my hometown. I'm going to be living with my mom. Happy birthday, Mom, once again.
Happy birthday, Sean.
And we're going to be living in her little cottage home. So cute. And so I'm going to be working towards taking a civil service exam so that I can qualify for a state job. Wow. So working the state, you have a lot of benefits, a lot of stability, and that would give me the chance to do things that I like broaden my Even Here page.
Yes.
And also my youngest brother, has a resale page. It's called Pastime Resale, and he takes care of old clothes, redoes them, and sells them.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So
How fun.
He is the entrepreneur of the family. He is it. He is, oh my gosh, it's insane. Only 20. He's one of the most passionate people I know. So I work really well with him.
Your brothers all live in Baton Rouge too?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
yay.
2 of my brothers live in New Orleans, which is only an hour away.
Okay.
So my older brother, Joe David, is married, and they live in New Orleans. And then my brother, Mitch, he's my second younger brother. He lives with them for right now and works in New Orleans.
Okay.
So Timmy's in Baton Rouge. I'm going to be in Baton Rouge. And we work super well together. So we're going to collaborate. He's wanting to open a shop on LSU's campus. Just amazing business stuff that's happening that I never would have thought I would be qualified to do.
Yeah.
So there are so many things. There's so many ideas. Literally, I feel so much freedom. And I feel the okay from the Lord, you go do it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah. Because that's just a gift in your singleness, ladies, is when the Lord, you feel a nudge, you can just go and do that.
Yeah.
So I am so excited. Sad, because this is rather sudden.
Yes.
So sad.
How sad are you, Jen?
I'm very sad.
Do you think you'd ever go down to Louisiana?
Oh, well, I definitely, you talk a lot about not assignments. Yeah, assignments.
Yeah, assignments.
That's the word I'm
for
looking
short
for.
Seasons.
Short assignment seasons. And even years ago, I had just considered, what if I moved to Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
And so there was a time that she wasn't even planning on going back that I was seriously thinking about it. This was long before the Miss Z days. But
yes, because now you have 600 children.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I love even what the RSM students do with Mardi Gras. And I've gone down every year for that. I just love New Orleans. I love Louisiana in general. And I love the culture of family that's there.
Yes.
Every family I've ever visited with there, it's just open house, open table. Everyone's together. And I just love that. And I do have such a heart for Louisiana. So I see that there's definitely an assignment there. I just don't know when and how long.
Yeah.
But because Emily will be there, I know that there can be a lot of adventures and traveling back and forth on both of our parts. So
It's a bit of a drive, though.
Yeah, 6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's worth it.
They got really good coffee shops.
The food.
I don't know. I may have to come visit.
Yeah, the food is it. It is
Yeah, the food.
everything.
Oh my
to me.
gosh. There's
A crawfish
always
boil.
there's always a new restaurant.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah.
So good.
All right. When I'm ready to, you go ahead and scope out the coffee shops.
Okay.
And
I've
when
got
we
a couple
road
in
trip,
mind.
when we road trip down that way, we'll have to do the coffee tour
Yes.
of Louisiana, Baton Rouge.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you girls came and talked to me.
Yes.
I love it. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Such a great conversation with Ms. Z and Sister E. Their friendship is so special, and it was fun to hear how God used each of them in the other's life to bring healing in areas that allowed them to thrive and grow into the women they are today. This is the power of community. We are going to miss Sister E as she makes her pilgrimage back to the homeland in Baton Rouge. But hey, thanks to social media, we can keep up with all of her crazy adventures. If you want to get connected to Jenn and Emily on social media and constantly laugh and be inspired by their journeys, I've included their social media profiles in the show notes for today. Go look them up, give them a follow, and tell them how much you loved this conversation today. If you're not following our What's Next God podcast page on Facebook, you can like the page or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And if you've been enjoying these conversations, let us know or share them with your friends. You can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook under the name Melissa Matheson. That's math, like 4 + 1 = 5, I before E, son, S-O-N, as in my 17-year-old son who told me he is suffering terribly from senioritis and so ready to be finished with high school. Do I dare tell him that he'll have more classes to attend and more studying to do when he goes to college in the fall? Well, friend, I'm back here on Wednesday and I'm saving you a seat. So come join us as we sit around the table, have a cup of coffee, and talk about what's next, God.